Well, hello there people, welcome back to my channel, and today I wanted to show you the solution to the Hotstart issue that I've been having on my Ford Sierra RS Cosworth. But before I go ahead, I think it's very important to mention that before you do any work on any fuel system, on any car, it's very important to take your safety precautions seriously and use some protective gloves and eyewear, and also protect the engine from a potential fuel leak coming from these connections that you're making to do your tests, and even minimize the risk of fire in here. So using a suck-up mat like this to catch a potential fuel leak coming from these connections. So what I wanted to cover in this video is basically how to adjust the fuel pressure, but also to show you the values that I get from the fuel pressure gauge connected to the engine at the moment. But before I go ahead, I just have to do a little background story of what was going on here. And my car suffered from a hot start issue, and it would manifest itself after having a nice drive, driving for a long time and having a good time, and switching off the engine, coming back to the car later, 20, 25, 30 minutes later, and I would have to crank the engine for 15, 20 seconds, which is somewhat embarrassing if there's some people standing there and having a look at this lovely car and you sit there cranking the engine like hell and it won't start. That is not a good thing. But even it's not a good thing for the engine, as in this case I had an issue with a fuel pressure drop through the injectors. So them leaking fuel into the inlet and into the engine is not a good thing at all. So it needed to be addressed. And that is what I wanted to show you in this video. So there's a lot of things that can be wrong here or that can go bad. But what was confusing and it was very confusing was that I had a new fuel pump, a new return valve, new fuel lines. The only thing that wasn't brand new is the fuel pressure regulator and the injectors that I had previously. The injectors that I put in when I rebuilt this engine, I took them in for bench testing, like flow testing and cleaning, and they did come out as good in the testing. So I'm somewhat pissed off because the company did say that they were good, but they weren't. My testings afterwards shows that I had leaky injectors, but obviously things change when stuff or parts get hot. So I guess that is where the problem lies, that they only test the injectors when they're cold and not hot. So I went out on the hunt to find new injectors, and I didn't want to waste my time getting 4 second-hand injectors, so I got 4 brand new ones. I first got 3 brand new ones, and then I got the last and 4th brand new injector from this guy in Italy. And when I received that new injector in the mail, it was unfortunately a bad injector. It had a broken pintle, or the injector tip was broken off. So I have now received another one from the same guy, and I'm so happy that that deal went smoothly in a way that everything worked out well. So I have now fitted 4 brand new injectors, and the things that I wanted to show you in this video is basically that it sorted out the issue. So first off, let me take you over to the bench here to show you what Ford says in the workshop manual. And they do not mention anything about the vacuum hose on the fuel pressure regulator being disconnected or connected when doing these readings. But as far as I reckon, the 3.5 bar when ignition is switched on, that is basically the same as it would be when the car is running at idle with the vacuum pipe disconnected. So that is what I have in mind when I do my readings here. They also wanted to be 3.0 bar at idle, so I guess that means with the vacuum pipe connected. So that is, like I said, what I have in mind when I do my testing or test readings here. So I think we should just start up the engine and show you how to adjust the fuel pressure and have a look at the gauge, what it shows. So kick me in the butt and get me in the car, and let's start it up. And it started up right away. So let's have a look at the fuel pressure. So people, here we are, and what you need to adjust the fuel pressure is a fuel pressure gauge and a 4mm hex tool like this. And often you see the blanking plates removed on the fuel pressure regulator like on this, but they should have a blanking plate on top here. But down there you find a 4mm hex screw, and you put your tool down there, and now you can see also the vacuum pipe is connected. And how to increase the fuel pressure, you turn this screw clockwise like this. And to decrease it, you turn the screw anti-clockwise. And I want to have it set at 3 bars like that. So also remember to remove the tool when you're done adjusting, because you don't want to have this tool falling out into the belt on the power steering pump. We also have to check how it seems or how it looks like when the vacuum pipe is disconnected. It should rise 0.5 bars up from this system pressure or working pressure, and it does. It's a bit above, but this gauge is a bit inaccurate, but at least it does rise above or 0.5 bars above the working pressure there. So then we should have a little look at the fuel pressure drop. So hang in there, people. So here we have it, people, and I have now switched off the engine, as you might hear. And the pressure is actually rising a bit now, which is natural. There will be some pressure buildup on a hot engine, but this is the complete opposite of how it was before I replaced the old injectors with these 4 brand new ones. Then you can actually see the gauge needle here dropping drastically. Just in a time period of like 1 minute or 2 minutes, it would drop to say 2 bars or even 1.5 bars. So I can assure you that the fuel pressure drop was caused by leaky injectors, and I'm now super happy to see that that was actually the case. Because like I said, I was super baffled to see that, well, it was the restored injectors or the cleaned up injectors that had actually fault in them. So that is really all I wanted to show you, people. There is some specifications about how much it's supposed to drop after a certain time, but that is more like a rule of thumb. I think it's about 0.2 bars in 20 minutes or something, but don't arrest me on it. I'm really not too sure about that. But anyways, you shouldn't see the fuel pressure dropping like as you go, in a way. It should hold steady, like you can see here. If it drops, well, you should do some diagnosis and find out where the fuel pressure is going. And in this case, it was leaky injectors. And like I also said, it can be a couple other things like a leaky fuel pressure regulator, but often a leaky fuel pressure regulator would manifest itself to if there's fuel coming out of the vacuum port. Then it's obviously bad. You can also have a faulty return valve in the fuel pump, but I knew that that was a brand new one, but I have actually tested it anyways. So, and also when it comes to hot start issues, people, do check the fuel system or that it holds fuel pressure before you do any other work, like on the electrics, like temp sensors and engine management systems and stuff. The mechanical condition of the fuel system has to be spot on for an engine to start when it is hot. So that it is my biggest tip for you. So I hope you liked the video, people. I really hope that you could have, or that you got some useful information out of this video. So if you do have any comments or questions, please ask or tell me in the comment section, and I would be happy to get back to you there and even answer your question if you do have any. So please subscribe, please like my video and videos, and if you don't like them, well, that's fine too. So until next time, people, I hope you have a great day, and see you guys later. Bye bye bye. See ya.